my name is Krista Olsson-Campbell, and we're going to do a gentle chair yoga class today. We'll do mostly just seated postures, stretches, breathing, a little myofascial release with the roller, and we'll also get out of the chair and do a few standing poses. So this class might be if you want to relax, if you want to stretch, release, and maybe if you're someone who doesn't like going up and down off the floor, you just don't particularly feel like doing that today, then this is the class for you. So we're going to begin with a little seated centering, and you're always welcome to sneak back and use the chair back for support, or if you want to use that postural musculature to hold yourself up, then you might want to come away from the chair back. So we're going to have the hands rested down on our thighs if we want to be a little more grounded. If you feel a little more like you need to be open and receptive, maybe you have the hands up. Or a little meditation mudra or hand position is called Dhyana mudra. Thumb, left hand on the bottom, right hand on top, and then the thumbs gently connected. So we're going to begin with 3 de-stressing breaths. As you inhale, bring your shoulders up towards the ears, create a little tension. And as you exhale, you can sigh it out and release them down. Inhale, drawing up. And exhale. Just let it all go. Again, inhale up. And exhale down. Good, and then just let yourself settle in. Take a few moments to become present and aware in this body, in this breath, in this moment. And we're going to do that by starting to draw awareness, one body part at a time. So let's start with our toes. Start to feel your toes and feel your feet connecting to the floor. Notice where there is connection. Notice where there is space. Become aware of your ankles and continue to draw that awareness up the lower legs towards the knees. Feel the top of the knee and the space at the back of the knee. Feel your thighs and follow that to your connection to the chair. Feel the grounding of the sitting bones as we gently push down. Feel how your spine softly lifts and lengthens. Tracing that awareness from the tailbone, slowly up through the lumbar spine, the mid-back, the upper back. Noticing what you feel in the shoulders, and with each exhalation, just letting them soften down. Allow your face to relax, your eyes, the forehead, just feeling alert and relaxed at the same time. And then begin to tune into your breathing, not changing it, just simply observing it. Noticing all the subtle movements that occur with each breath. Feel that soft expansion that occurs with each inhalation, and that contraction or retraction back to our center. Tuning into the wave of your breathing. If thoughts pop up, that's okay. Just notice and then let them float by like you're watching clouds in the distance. Gently bringing your attention back to observing the breath. We're going to begin to envision that breath as light and as energy, slowly starting to deepen all the way to the lowest lobes of the lungs. Pause, holding that breath momentarily until your body is calling for the exhalation, and then slowly descend from the top of the lungs to the bottom. Listen to the soft sound of your breathing. Continuing with those deep breaths, we're going to open the eyes gradually and allow the chin to fall towards the chest. As we inhale, we're going to roll the head to one side, just feeling that gentle stretch on the side of your neck. And as you exhale, drawing the chin back toward the chest. Inhale as you roll to one side, pause. And exhale, chin to chest. We're always staying in our pain-free, comfortable range of motion, just easing into it so our body doesn't retract or resist the movements, but softens into them. We're going to bring the head up through the center, and we'll do a little cervical rotation. So as we exhale, we're going to turn the head in one direction to whatever range you can do, and then inhale as you bring it back to center. Exhale, rotating, and inhale back to center. Exhale, shoulders stay relaxed. Notice if any tension starts creeping up into those shoulders. We kind of typically like to do that. So just drawing your awareness periodically to that region of the body, just to do a little check-in. I'm going to start warming up those shoulders now, bringing the hands to the shoulders. And we're going to draw big circles, as big as our shoulders allow. And as we inhale, we draw up. And exhale, down. Let's do a few more of those. You can always have a sigh exhale to just let everything go. One more time. Good, we're going to keep those arms here. We're going to bring the elbows together, and then we're going to open them. And together, and open. Good, we'll do that a few times. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Keeping our ribs engaged, just letting the shoulders do the work. Last one. Good, and let's release those arms down. We're going to do a few pranic baths here. Imagine that we're scooping up light and then washing it over you just like a waterfall, bringing those arms into that sort of almost like a W formation. Inhale, we sweep up and over. Exhale, releasing. Good, inhale. White light just bathing over you. Let's do 3 more of those. One more time. Good, we're going to rest those hands down. And we'll do a little lateral movement for the side body. So as we inhale, we'll reach up. Exhale, bring that elbow back down. Let's do 2 more. other side. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice. We're going to bring those hands to our heart center in prayer position. We'll do a little spinal rotation. So inhale to prepare. As we exhale, rotating just to wherever you can. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, rotating. And inhale, center. And if you're quite comfortable here, you could turn to look over your shoulder. Just make sure your shoulders stay relaxed. And if you have osteoporosis, you might not even want to do the rotation. So that's up to you, but just be very cautious when you twist. Exhale and inhale. Good. Now we're going to do a passive stretch. So that was an active stretch, so you're welcome to continue with that. Or if you would like a little more twist, we can get tall and then spiral using a bit of a bind against the thigh in the chair. We can relax the shoulders and turn and look over the shoulder. And just take a few gentle breaths here. And then we're going to spiral to the other side. Do the same thing. Inhale, lengthen the spine first. Then drawing the belly in, softly rotating, turning to look over the head and neck. Let's unravel back to the center, and we're going to do a little spinal flexion and extension. So you might kind of scooch up on the edge of your chair, bring the feet a little wider than hip width. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, pushing feet into floor, drawing the belly in, rounding the back into a letter C. And as we inhale, we're going to lift up the heart, draw the shoulder blades down, open the collarbone and the belly and the chest. And then just keep moving at the pace of your breath, exhaling into flexion, inhaling. And we're going to roll ourselves all the way up. Good. Okay, we're going to take our roller and do some myofascial release. So I did use this in the other yoga video I did, but I feel like most people have this tool, so I'm going to stick with this. And we'll begin doing just a quick sort of total body roll. So we'll start by drawing the right ear up. And here, I'll mirror image you guys, your right ear. And we're going to roll out the side of our neck. We're rolling out the upper trapezius. Can tilt the chin down a bit and start to work under the base of the skull, alongside the neck. Now you can just use one hand or you can use both. Kind of put a little more pressure at the base of the skull if you prefer. And then we're going to take that roller and reach down our back like a back scratcher. We'll take our free hand, if that's available to us, to grab the bottom. If it's not, then you can just roll this back and forth across the back, and it will give you a nice massage effect as well. If you can just kind of hold it like a pivot, then you can use your top hand to sort of scrub between the shoulder blade and the spine and over the shoulder blade as well. So we're just kind of rolling out the muscles between the the scapula, so our middle traps, rhomboids in there, and then over the shoulder blade we have a bit of our rotator cuff in there, so the rear deltoid, posterior deltoid. Okay, we're going to release the top hand, lean forward, and then we can sort of roll out the low back, bit into the side waist, and of course into the glutes. As we lean forward, we can get into the buttocks and the side of the hip. Just kind of working all through that. We're going to bring that back around to the front, and we'll stretch out the leg and start on the front of the hip. So kind of rolling out where your pants wrinkle when you're seated, and a bit into the side of that hip as well. And then we're going to start rolling out the quadriceps here, and working on ourselves around the thigh, and kind of work the lateral thigh too. The IT band, if you do it, just go over it very gently. Okay, now that we've worked our way around 3 sides, we're going to go underneath the thigh and work the back side into our hamstrings. So this myofascial release, this self-massage technique, is helping to hydrate the connective tissue, the fascia that separates us and also connects everything in our body. And by doing so, we have more freedom and ease in our movements. So we're going to take the roller down to our lower leg, to our calves. And of course the shin, it's nice to give a little roll out too. And then we'll do our foot as well, putting the foot on there, give it a little roll through the instep, arch, gently over the heel, gently over the toes. Okay, and then we're gonna do a little bit for our arms, so we'll plunk it into that right hip crease, and then we're going to roll out the bicep. So you might like to turn your arm, kind of rotate the palm up and down, and just work all around the front of the arm, upper arm, and then we'll take it around the other side so we can get into the tricep. Again, you can rotate the hand and kind of get the back of the shoulder there again if you want for a second time. And then we can take that forearm as well and just kind of run back and forth, turn the palm. Feels good. All right, let's take a moment to just feel and have a little reflection. Feel the difference between your right and left sides. Just see if you can notice any changes in maybe circulation, feeling of energy, maybe a perception of length. Maybe you feel the shoulders are a different height, the arms longer, the face is more relaxed on that side. Maybe your foot feels more connected to the floor. So just take notice, taking stock, and tuning into the effects of your practice and your work. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to work on your left side now. So we'll tip the ear up, and we're going to start rolling up from behind the ear, down the shoulder. And then we're going to take this down the back. We can take the bottom hand and just be sort of a pivot point for that top hand to work the roller back and forth between the spine and the shoulder blade, and then over the shoulder blade. And then we're going to release that. And leaning forward, we're going to get into the low back, to the waist, side waist. And the glutes, all around the buttock. Take it around to the front, extending the leg and starting around the hip joint where the hip is flexed when we're in a seated position. And then we'll start to take it down the thighs. Inner thigh, the top of the thigh, and the outer thigh. Use a rolling pin too if you don't have one of these rollers. Most people have a rolling pin in their house, so you're welcome to switch it up to use whatever you've got. Okay, we're going to take this underneath and work our way around the hamstrings. Lean forward to get into our calves. And let's do the foot. I'd also like to mention, I should mention this at the beginning, but if you have any music that you like to play that's relaxing for you, you can always have that going in the background. So if you've got something you like, go for it. Okay, we're going to do the arm on this side, so we're going to plunk it into the same side hip, and then we're going to stretch out the arm and just work back and forth, rolling around that bicep. And then we'll take the arm onto the inside and roll out the tricep. Maybe the back of the shoulder too, if you can reach it back there. Rotating the arm. And then we'll work on the forearm. We're going to roll out those wrists. The hands. And that's that. Feels good, doesn't it? All right, so we're going to continue on with some of our asanas. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our arms up, and let's take your right arm under your left. You're going to give yourself a bit of a hug, and then you can stay in this position. If it's available to you, you could go back to back with the forearms, or you could even put the fingers into the palms. So all of those options are good. Lifting the elbows slightly, shoulders relax down, and we're going to direct our breathing gently between the shoulder blades. As we exhale, the shoulders soften down, the face relaxes, and as we inhale, we might feel a bit more stretch between the shoulder blades. We're going to unravel those arms, and then we're just going to switch. So we'll take your left arm under, and then you can stay in the hug position. You can go back to back or the wrap. Elbows just lift a little bit, shoulders relax, and we're breathing. Nice deep breaths. release. Give that a little roll, a little release. Good. So we're going to just scoot back in the chair a bit, and we'll use just sort of support from the chair. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, you can just bring the hands to support the head. Let the elbows go wide. And just feel like you're in a lounge chair, kind of enjoying some sun at the beach. Let your heart feel open, your head feel supported, and breathe into that upper chest. As you exhale, let your shoulders soften. All right, we're slowly going to bring ourselves up. We'll just let those arms just float on down. And then we're going to scooch up on the chair again. And we're just going to bring the knee up, and you could either grab behind the knee or in front of the shin, whatever you prefer. We're going to move into a C curve in our spine, so kind of like a little, like a mad cat position, but in seated. And then I want you to take those breaths into the back, so you're stretching out the back ribs and the low back. Okay, we're going to release that leg down, and we're just simply going to go to the other side. So drawing up under the thigh or in front of the shin, we're going to tuck under, we're going to draw that knee to chest, and we're going to breathe into our back. Release that down. We're going to continue to work our way around our hips. So we're going to take one foot forward. Hands can rest on the thigh, the support leg. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, hinging forward just until you feel a gentle pull, 70-80% of a max stretch in the back of the leg. And the toes are pointing up here. We're using our breath. Inhale, spine elongates. Exhale, we soften into the stretch. Release any resistance that you have or that you find. All right, we're going to bring that up. And then on the same leg, we're going to take the foot, bring it to the other foot, and have our hand closer to the hip joint here. Getting nice and tall, we hinge forward, looking for that stretch into the rotators of this hip. Now, if it's available to you and you could bring that leg over, then we're going to inhale to get tall, and then we're going to exhale, again, maybe hinging forward just until you feel that gentle pull into the hip. Just thinking about your posture, sometimes you sort of collapse forward, so we still want to feel that width through the collarbone, that lift through the heart, and still our nice deep breaths. We inhale, hold it. When your body calls for the exhalation, a slow release, and then another brief pause. Let's bring that up, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to take the leg out to start, toes are up. Inhale, we get tall. Exhale, we're hinging forward from the hip. Nice deep breaths. Feeling that gentle stretch in the back of the leg and your surrender to it. All right, we're going to bring that up. We're going to turn the leg out. Once again, put your hand close to the hip joint there as you draw the leg open, leaning forward over your support leg. Or we could take the leg and cross it over. Inhale, tall. Exhale, hinging forward, keeping your posture and breathing. inhale, we're going to draw it up, and then we're going to place it back down. So we're going to take our feet wide here, almost like a sumo wrestler position, and then we're just going to hinge forward from the hip. Again, drawing the knees wide. You can use your hands, or I like to use my elbows just to rest. Keep the spine long, knees and toes going the same direction, and we're really looking for inner thigh stretch. This is essentially half happy baby or happy baby's pose, but you're doing it in a seated position. All right, we're slowly going to bring ourselves up from that, working our feet back to the center. And then we're going to work through our hip flexors now. So we're going to turn to one side, and the leg that is free is going to sneak back. So you might find you like to lean forward here just to kind of squiggle the leg back a bit. And then just let it relax as you bring your body back to vertical. The pelvis is level, the ribs are into the body here. And keeping that core strong, this is our anchor. Then we can start to push back through the heel, making sure that we don't sort of pop our ribs or arch our back. We really stay anchored here. And then you should feel a stretch to the front of that hip. You can still hang onto the chair here if you like, and then bring your free arm up. So that'll help sort of elongate that stretch through the front side of the body. Take a few breaths there. Pushing through the heel, tucking the tail, breathing. And then you might just want to add a little lateral bend. You might feel you get into the side of the hip here. The other hand can stay on the chair. It can be on the seat of the chair. So wherever you feel most comfortable and stable. All right, we're going to bring that back around. And we'll turn to the other side. And we'll try it. Leaning forward, just kind of squiggle the foot, and you can let it relax. Find your core, maintain a level pelvis, a neutral low back. Start to push back through the heel. If you feel you can go a little further, you can always kind of adjust. Keep drawing the hip forward. Take the same side arm, reach it skyward. And then we're going to reach for the chair or for the wall behind you. And we're going to bring that right back to center. And okay, we're just going to do one breath practice before we come to standing. If you prefer just doing a seated class, this could be your end with our breathing, and then hopefully you get a chance to do a little shavasana or a little meditation. If you'd like to do a few more poses standing, you can join me after this. So we're going to take our hands to heart, and as we inhale, we're going to expand that heart wide open, splaying the fingers, and then bring it right back to the center. So envision as you inhale some light energy moving through the limbs, through the fingers, and then drawing more of that light energy from your environment back to your center. Inhale, expanding light and love, and exhale and drawing that back to your core. Let's do 3 more. Just imagine your light growing brighter and brighter. Good, and just sit with that for a breath or two. Nice. So we're going to bring ourselves up out of the chair. And we're going to take the chair over to, I like to have it against a wall, or you could have it just all 4 feet on the mat. And that's just so that it doesn't go kind of flying on you. Just it's a safety thing. We want to keep it nice and stable, or as stable as we can. So we're going to start with a chair dog, and you could use it this way. You could also do chair dog this way, so your hands on the high side. I'm going to do it on the low side today, but if you find it's too low, you can always switch. Okay, so we're going to place our hands just on the chair seat, and we want to have a nice grounding, just like you would in downward facing dog. So you can spread the hands out nice and wide, grounding through the rim of the palm. And then we'll walk the feet back so that our feet are pretty much underneath our hips. From here, we're going to bend the knees, shoot the hips back, and lengthen our spine. Now, because my hands are a bit lower here, my head's probably not going to drop too much. We just want to stay in line with the spine from the tailbone to the crown. Breathe into the armpits, into the side ribs here. Maybe, if you would like to take a little into the hamstrings, you could start to straighten the legs. But if you find that you end up rounding your back, I would just keep the knees bent, send the hips back, and enjoy that elongation of your spine. Take some breaths here. Right into the side ribs. On your exhale, just let yourself release, relax, let your face go. So the cheeks feel flat, going with gravity. Okay, we're going to lift ourselves up here a bit, and we're going to take your right foot forward about halfway to the chair. Your left foot's going to go back about the same distance, and then you can just kind of work through your feet. You can adjust them a little so that both feet are fully planted on the ground. Both are pointing forward. It's like they're in a train track position. Inhale once again, we lift and lengthen our spine. So we might find we want to just stay here, pushing our back heel into the ground. And if you lift the toes on the feet, sometimes that does help to just get us active through the legs and a little more even through the feet. And then you can rest them down. So you can stay up here. Some of you might find you can go a little bit lower here, so you just walk your hands down the chair, but still always trying to maintain that lengthened spine. This is Parsvottanasana, or sometimes it's called pyramid pose. And let's just tune in with our breath here. Big breath in, hold, exhale, surrendering into the stretch. Okay, so if you feel comfortable here, we're just going to step forward and we'll switch our foot position. If you like the one you had, then all we need to do is make the switch. You might start with your hands a little further or closer towards you on the chair. We do a halfway lift to lengthen our spine, relax our shoulders down. Again, we lift our toes. We might stay there, or you might find you can go a little lower. You can walk the hands down on the chair. You can always bring the chair closest to you. If your arms get tired here, feel free to bring this and rest your forearms on it, okay? That's actually very nice because a lot of the weight comes into the chair, so it's a little less work and a little more relaxing. So please feel free to do that as an option. Couple more breaths. Relax your face. Ease into the pose. Okay, we're going to walk ourselves back up to the chair. Place hands on the thighs. We're just going to roll ourselves up. Nice and tall. Good. So we'll do just a little bit of a chest opener here. So we're going to take our palms, which are facing forward, and your feet can be hip width or they can be a little close together if you like. And we're just going to take those arms facing forward and start to turn the palms to face the wall, the thumbs face back, the heart lifts, shoulders draw down, and just let your head follow the line of the spine. So this is kind of a slight back bend here, and with that external rotation of the shoulders. And just take a few breaths there. As you exhale, let your shoulders relax. As you inhale, fill up the heart. And we'll release. Give yourself a few little shoulder rolls there. Okay, we're going to go back to our chair. And you can kind of walk so your toes are almost underneath the chair. We're going to step back with one foot, doesn't matter, we'll do both sides. And then we're going to do just a little triangle. So the heel kind of intersects with the back arch. We're going to stay nice and tall here, and then we're just going to flex forward from the hip. So the waist stays equal here. It's really pelvic movement, and us Westerners tend to have tight hips. So we'll just go where we can with that pelvic movement. Then we're going to hold it here. We're going to reach towards our chair, and then we'll lay the hand down in the chair. If you're kind of looking for the chair, then you might need to pull it closer to you. So feel free to do that, because we don't want to be side flexing here. We're going to try and stay nice and neutral in our posture. And then from here, it's like we're between two panes of glass. You can stay here. You can bring the top arm up, and you can gaze straight ahead, or you might gaze towards your thumb if it's comfortable. So we're in Trikonasana or triangle pose. Taking some breaths here. We're going to bring the hand down. We're going to step that foot back, maybe about 1.5 feet, 2 feet from the chair. And we'll try a little balance here. So we can transfer weight. You can simply kind of lift and lower. You can kind of play here. Or if you're feeling quite comfortable here, then you could start to elevate that leg to wherever it does feel comfortable for you. Hand can rest on the hip or along the leg, or we could bring it up. If you look down, you usually feel more stable, but if you're quite comfortable here, you might look straight ahead at something on the side wall. We kind of pretend like we're pushing our foot into the wall, so we have a little energy on that top leg. So this is a challenging pose if you want to give it a try. All right, let's bend that knee, step yourself down, and we're going to take our chair to the other side, or I'm going to take it to the other side. You guys can simply turn around if you like. And then we're going to get nice and close to our chair again. Step back with our legs so we have the heel to arch alignment. Nice and tall, so always make sure the hips aren't back here. And then we're just going to do a little bit of a hinge forward. Just kind of warming up the hips, warming up the pelvis. All right, then we're going to reach for our chair, lengthen our waist. Again, if it's too far from you, you just can bring it a little closer to you. You can be on fingertips here. And then we're going to take that top arm, if you like. You're going to rotate it skyward. Relax the shoulders. We're breathing. Really deepening into your front hip crease and kind of bumping out your back hip. We're going to take this top hand down, and we'll take that front leg, you bend the knee, and then step yourself back 1.5 to 2 feet. When you're ready, you can elevate the back leg, open up, put yourself between the two panes of glass if you like, or maybe you just want to play. You just want to lift and lower, just almost like a single leg squat. Okay, so you're welcome to do that. You're welcome to take the top arm up. If we look down, we're usually most stable. But if you're quite comfortable, you could look straight ahead, pick a spot on the wall, breathe, kind of going with the flow here. Again, a challenging pose. This is half moon or Ardha Chandrasana. All right, let's bring that back down and release. Good. So we're going to come back to our chair now, to a seated posture after doing a few of those standing postures. And we're just going to do a little forward bending. So I'll give you a few options here. You want to warm up your hands for this one. You can just cup the eyes and just sort of let your head rest in your hands, and that's quite lovely. So you might want to stay with that one or do it for a few breaths. You may want to just come into a forward bend. If you have any blood pressure or heart issues, I would do the first one or this one where we're just kind of leaning forward. Or you might bring your hands between the legs towards the floor, your ankles. Some of you might feel like you want a little traction weight, so you could also fold your arms and let your head weight release. But again, eye or blood pressure issues, heart issues, I would keep my head up. And just take a few breaths here. We want to breathe into our back body, and as we exhale, we want to feel a sense of surrender, a sense of letting go. And you could always move between the postures. Just let everything melt. Any remaining tension, let it just dissipate and dissolve. Let's release that. Slowly roll yourself back up to a vertical posture, and then you can again use the chair back or your postural muscles, whatever you feel like doing at this point of the class. Find in your hand position with the palms up, the palms down, or the meditation mudra. Closing the eyes, and once again starting to tune into the body. Doing our body scan, starting at your toes. At your own pace, just gradually working your way up, body part by body part, observing, consciously letting go, relaxing as we sequentially move from the feet to the crown. And then begin to tune into your breathing, not working the breath, just simply observing it. Letting it slow and find ease. And as you breathe, just imagining at your center, at your core, a sun. And as you tune into the rhythm of your breath, envision the rhythm of the sun as it gently and softly expands outward on the inhale and retracts, becomes more dense and bright and rich on the exhale. And as you envision that sun gaining strength, growing brighter, start to see its rays move outward to touch your cells, each an individual sun. All the cells starting to light up and spread that light energy from your center, from cell to cell. Till your whole body, your whole being is fueled with this light, pulsing, radiant energy. it to energize you, purify you, and give you a sense of well-being from your inside flowing to your outside, reaching beyond your borders, outward to your environment and to the people around you, spreading sunshine wherever you go. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, awakening the body and just coming back to the present. And then bringing the hands to the heart center. Take a few more breaths to feel, to observe, and to appreciate the effects of your practice on your body, your breath, your mind, and your spirit. Allow the gaze to fall. Let your eyes softly open and adjust. And as we lift the head, namaste. And thank you for participating in this chair yoga class.